Hello, good morning and welcome back to the Fish Locker out on the boat. My friend Chris and I, we're doing a bit of an exploratory session today. We're hoping to anchor up on a new piece of reef and fish it at anchor. The sun has just come up there, as you can see, and it is alive this morning. I don't know if you can see there. A massive feeding frenzy, and we have about 100 dolphins around the boat, just everywhere you can see. There they are, eh? Yeah, mixed fishing at anchor today. First order of the day though, let's get some bait. Get ourselves a nice dozen mackerel, and then we'll get where we're going. Yeah, this is just incredible then there. A decent size. Incredible. We've almost got to where we want to anchor up. Tide's still running, so we thought we'd have a little bit of a runabout with some lures. We are in about 25 metres of water and we're just drifting over an area of reef. Now I'm fishing with one of the conflict inshores and it's a 50 gram. A slammer, is it a slammer 4? Slammer 4, 4,500.
Yeah.
Got one?
Yeah. Better fish. No, it's not that good actually, it could just be grass. You have a good account of it itself to start with.
Mm. We don't really fight like hell to get back at rock, don't we?
Oh, no.
There's some down there now, you can see them just
Yep. That's 100 gram slow jig. Absolutely nailed.
They're down there now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've switched up tactics. I'm fishing with the soft plastic. Chris is fishing with a slow jig, just to find out what they're liking.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Very big.
A pollock.
Yeah.
Stacks of little fish down there.
Yeah.
No, just a pollock that didn't want to fight. Just a pollock that didn't want to fight. Lovely bright lure. He wanted it, didn't he? Straight back down. That's all it was. Sack it off, get the anchor down.
Yeah. Pollock.
I've had a little go with the lures. Let the tide run down. Let's go and find our spot to anchor up. This is the problem with fishing soft plastics. These wrasse just love them. The wrasse has bit the tail off it. So yeah, there's a 20 quid lure that's now ruined because of a wrasse. If they do bite like that there, that's torn up a little bit and it's bitten there. If you get a split in them, you can super glue them back, but you can't super glue what ain't there. We have got where we're going. We are in around about 50 to 55 metres of water. On this strength of tide, I'm expecting we're probably going to have to put out 2.5 to 3 times the depth of water in rope. So we're looking at putting out 150 to 180 metres of rope. The area that we're fishing is a big piece of reef. So I'm going to be using a grapple anchor. Oh, we have got a bit of swell wire out here. And it's rigged with a weak link there. So if it ever gets stuck, hopefully that weak link will break and it'll pull out backwards. Now, generally you should use 1.5 times the length of your boat in chain. I've got a 17-foot boat, so I've got about 25 feet of chain. On my rope, I have an Alderney ring and a buoy. That comes into twofold. The first being that when you're hauling your anchor, you can use the Alderney ring and the buoy to haul the anchor for you. But also, when you're sat at anchor, you're better off having a buoy out, not only so people can see it, but also it takes out the snatch of the swell. Because if your rope goes straight to your boat, every time you go over a swell, it snatches at your anchor. Whereas if it goes to a buoy, then across, all that happens is the buoy cushions the snatch of the swell. That'll do me.
Yeah, perfect.
All I'm going to do is, instead of working everything out of the hatch at the front, I'll work mine off the back. Then when I've got everything sorted, pass it over the front, tie it off. I have my anchor rope marked in lengths, otherwise you'd never know how much you put on the other side. I've got out all the rope that I need to, and all I do is I slide a little batten of wood onto my anchor rope. That way the anchor buoy doesn't slide all the way to the boat. There we go. Let us sit back and see where she wants to bait. We'll start some fishing. Sat back at anchor now. Got the first baits down. Now there is still a little bit of swell, and we're in the strongest pull of the tide at the minute. Hopefully the tide's going to drop off a little bit. Yeah, honestly don't know what to expect here. I would hope to think that there would be ling, conger eels, huss, maybe spurdogs, taupe, anything like that. We're happy to just catch anything at this moment in time. It's calmed down a little bit now. I was fishing away there and I was saying, oh, I'm getting a little bit of a bite, let's just let it develop. And it just come to nout. The reason being is because it was a conger eel that was that small. Yeah, it was hooked, we just couldn't tell. Fishing in that amount of tide with that amount of lead.
That'd be right.
Cleaned you out. What you got? That must have almost been instant.
Yeah, seems it at the bottom. How about 5 dropped off? Not too bad. Ring.
Maybe Lynn.
Fish finger.
We did say, didn't we?
Yeah.
This little bit of reefy ground would be ling. It almost looks like a toss crab.
There you go. A little. That ling. A little bit of mackerel.
Fishing in this depth of water, quite often when you bring fish up they blow. So what we've got is a descender, and it just carries them down to the seabed so that they get back down to pressure.
Gently hooking through a bit of skin there on the gill. And swimming back down. See him going down?
Yeah.
You go, hit the bottom, give him a jig, a couple of pulls. And he's off. You should be alright, he swam down pretty well. There you go.
That there, I'd had a fish and it would take me in a hole. And all I had to do was I had to put a glove on and just give it a little bit of a pull to try and persuade it out the hole. Hopefully I've still got it. From one side of the boat to the other. What I didn't want him to do is, just as I brought him on then, he just looked like he was going to be sick. There you go. The greater spotted cat shark, also called a bullhuss. There's the mackerel flapper in his mouth. Sure, that was an eel the way it bound it up, but it makes sense. Come out and I got a good, really good bite, and then by the time I'd struck into it, it had just gone in a hole. And all he'd done is he'd trying to hide himself inside of like a little crack in the reef. So I put my glove on, wrapped around the braid and give it a good pull. It obviously dislodged him. Once I felt the bite, there you go. That was all the rig was. Sliding lead. There's a 10-0 meat hook on a fish locker conger rig with a mackerel flapper. The key to this type of fishing is getting the fish on the feed, getting enough scent down there to get them properly feeding. Because then as soon as you drop down, they're straight on it. Like I'd just dropped down mine and I had a bite straight away. Chris has got his straight away. I think mine was a little ling or something, because it was a really aggressive bite, and then when I struck there was a bit of weight and then nothing. And I think it was just holding on to the back of the bait and it's pulled it off the hook. So I think I'm going to bring mine up now and I'm going to have no bait on. Yeah, just as suspected. Strip me.
That one?
I think it's another horse. Oh, I decided it wanted to go back down there. I don't think it realised it was hooked to start with. Something's swinging around.
Not an eel, he's swimming down, linking.
Big old horse. Big horse. That is a big horse. That leg. You're going to tail it, are you?
Oh, that's a beauty.
Oh, well done. Oh, that is a big one.
That's Eva.
There's 2 sets. That's why I prefer to have detachable hook lengths on all of my rigs. Just unclip the hook length, look, put the rod out the way and try and deal with a fish. I say try and deal with a fish because these are a handful. Yeah. See there? Hook in the top of his mouth there. Exactly the same rig before. The fish locker conger rig with a mackerel flapper. Watching your fingers. That's all it is there. That's it. 10-0 Cox and Raw meat hook. I was using a full mackerel flapper on one of my fish locker conger rigs. Not fuss mate, he's not a 20. They're like a dogfish but on steroids. One of the ways that you can tell these apart from dogfish, other than their massive size, because you won't get a dogfish above £5, is the flaps on its nose. Now this is a male, you can see it's a male by those claspers there, just here. Now he's too much of a handful. I'm not going to worry too much about getting a photo of him. I'm just going back. Easy. There you go. No messing around. Let's get them baits back down. We're starting to swing around a little bit now as the tide's dropping right off. We'll just let these 2 bites develop. We'll pull the anchor and move somewhere else. And as soon as the tide's dropped off, look, it's almost like a different day in here now. We'll porpoise round us. There's a seal that keeps popping up. Go on. It's a lovely one. Want me to tail it? Oh, you got it. This is definitely a mark for bullhuss. Little sandy spotty one. Yeah. Let's pull up and switch to another part of the reef. I think we'll call this the bullhuss mark from now on. And now you just haul it in along the surface. Or you get somebody else to do it. Yeah, this is why you have a good length of chain. All you need is you need more weight in chain than you have weight in anchor. So that when the anchor slides all the way to the buoy, the chain sits down and holds the anchor at the buoy. So you can just pour it all in along the surface. And that's what I was meaning. That's what I was meaning about the anchor will slide all the way to the buoy. The new mark that we've come to is a bit of tide here. Making the most of the tide. Another sandy bullhuss, making the most of the tide. Oh, what's that tea bag got to in it? Did I put it away, did I? Been using like glow in the dark fluorescent LEDs. So far it's so good. I don't know if I'd have caught them without it, but yeah, they've definitely caught fish so far. We might end up in a situation here where, because all we're catching is these huss, we can't catch anything else. We're going to have to move because we're catching too many of them and find somewhere where they aren't so that we can try and catch something else. So you can see they're ferocious, they're just a shark.
There you go, nice little codling, a bit of mackerel, little fatty.
This is the third little mark that we've fished today. All of them have been little areas of reef, little spots of reef that we've never fished before. This one's completely surrounded by sand. Now we have still got quite a lot of tide running through. We're having to use like 10 and 12 ounce leads. And what we're having to keep doing is, as the tide moves through, different states of tide at different areas of different strength. closer to shore you are, stronger. So as the tide's dropped away to nothing, we've moved around to keep a little bit of tide. I just 5 minutes ago said, right, we'll give it 5 minutes, and if we haven't had anything, we'll go. And as you said, that codling and a dogfish, and I've got a bite here now. This is probably going to be a doggy.
Reckon?
Well, it's, I don't know.
Kicking a bit.
It might even be a codling, but I've got really small hooks.
I had some the other day on trying to look for
A big old fat whiting. It is a fat one. Come on, I brought you in really gentle. Don't start kicking off now. He is a fatty. Got a proper belly on him. All we've done on this mark is we've scaled the gear down a bit. Instead of fishing 10 O's, I'm fishing 6 O's. And instead of fishing full flappers, I'm just fishing strip baits. And that whiting came on a proper scratching rig. That was just a little choke scratching rig. Size 4 hooks baited with little tiny strips of squid. Cornish cod. Well done. Some size mouth on them, don't they?
Yeah. For a little fish. And he's only probably what? A couple of pounds, something like that?
Yeah, might go 3.
Probably 3. But yeah, big old mouth. Little strip of mackerel again.
Another jumbo whiting. Wow, and they are absolutely stuffed to the gills. All that is just a sliding lead and a 6-0 with a strip of mackerel on. So yeah, you don't have to worry about using small hooks for them. We're catching nothing but dogfish here. We've had like 6 in a row. So what we're going to do is going to pull the anchor up. I'm going to try one more place further offshore. One last roll of the dice. Well done. Well, we were hoping these were going to show up earlier, weren't we?
Nice one.
Let me say, we're pleased with that one. We fished through probably 20 plus dogfish. And it's just about to get dark. You can see the sun's just setting. We said, I just literally said, I was like, look, we've got half an hour. Next couple of fish, come on. And my rod started showing like a little tiny dogfish bite. Stuck into it, and anyway, yeah, it wasn't a dogfish. Until all the way up, it wasn't a dogfish. We have the first, hopefully, of several spurdogs. Now, I've shown these in videos before. You need to be careful with them because, hence the name, spurdog. They've got 2 spurs on them. One on the dorsal fin, one further down near their tail. I'll show you it now. This is where I let it spur me. Calm down. There you go. Got a little spur just behind its dorsal and one on its tail there. I'm trying to show you. Yeah, so you need to be careful. Just on a little strip of mackerel, just the same as we were doing before. Tell you what, their eyes are brilliant, aren't they? We'd said today when we set out, we're like, we'll maybe try and find some of these in the ground offshore. Yeah, we've moved back further offshore, and thankfully we managed to find one. Now they do live in packs, so we might find some more. Got this guy unhooked and sent back. There you go. Wow. Last knock-ins, half an hour left to see if we can't find another one. Oh, yeah. Tell you what, they are a handful. Nice little spotty huss. Makes a change from the dogfish. Yeah, the key that we've found today is that it's fishing the different areas at different states of tide. You need a bit of tide, but you can't have too much tide. We've been in some areas where we've been needing like 2.5 pounds of lead, and we're just, even when we can hold the bottom, the fish aren't having it. And yet if there's no tide at all, the fish don't want to feed. It's been a learning day. We've decided to fish it out for like another hour, just because as the tide's dropping back off, like it did this morning, the fish have come on the feed more. We haven't gone to all this effort to go home just before it starts getting better. I've got another lovely coloured huss, and Chris has caught a strap. Barely even registered that eel was on there.
Bit of a nuisance.
Another nice kind of sandy coloured bullus. As that tide's dropped off, like we talked about, the fish really have come on the feed. I don't know how much of a difference it's making, but I'm using some little glow-in-the-dark leads that kind of glow green. Can you see them? Look at that. That's a bite. Yeah. Nearly took it out of my hand. Yeah. Yeah, there was another huss on one of those glow-in-the-dark leads. Just slightly smaller than the last one. Yeah, all I've been doing is I've been using the light to kind of charge it up, to charge up the glow-in-the-dark. And you'll see as soon as it goes over there, it's you can actually see them going down like 20-30 feet as well, so they must still be glowing when they get down there. Oh, just got it in time.
That is
A nice hook. Get the rod up out the way. We'll be able to show you that fish. That's, I don't even know, mate, that'll be well into doubles. Might go for, oh, I don't know, have you got set scale?
Yeah, that one.
Well, yeah, just the width of its head as well. It's got to be a foot.
Good size one, that.
It's got to be a good double. Oh, what we're looking at?
17. I'll give you 17 for that.
Yeah. Everywhere from 16, 12 to like 17 and a half. a 17-pound bullus. And it's a male as well. Oh.
Got it?
Yep. It's going to be a bush or something. On a size 4 with 15-pound fluoro. It's like an 8-pound, maybe even a 10-pound bullus on a size 4. That is just crazy. That is another massive bullus on a scratching rig on them little tiny size 4 hooks. This fish that I picked up on a scratching rig is probably a double figure bullus, so that is a really good fish to catch anyway, but to catch it on a scratching rig is even better. But that other one, 17 pound, that's going to be a PB. One last look at that husk there. That is an absolute giant. Tell you what, try and record him going back. Just an absolute giant. Width of its head. No else when its head's not wide. Ready? There it goes. Right, that is definitely it.
Yeah. Well,
I'd intended on being in before it got dark. There we are. A fantastic session where we've tried out loads of new areas of reef and definitely found where the husks live. That there is a personal best husk, 17 pound. It was a male as well. Yeah. Let's get that anchor up.
Cheers.
I'm expecting she's tripped like. Yep. And that is why we rigged the weak link, that cable tie, so when it gets stuck it trips out backwards. That actually happened there. That was worst case scenario, getting your anchor stuck at night. Just took a little bit of steaming around just to break the weak link and it came out backwards. Got about a 2 hour steam to get back home now. Well, I hope you enjoyed joining us. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best. See you later.